liked and loved and be popular and be respected, you don't have to be a good professional only. You have to be a good human being also.
As technology connects us through distance we never thought was possible, our physical spaces continue to shrink every day. Throughout the 2010s leading up to 2022, technology has increased its footprint in the lives of children. Today, television, computers, and mobile phones are indispensable for kids even as young as 2 year olds. The continuous use of such a digital medium has produced a consistent effects in the minds of kids. Parenting in the age of digital technology become much more challenging due to these devices. Some studies even go as far as to suggest that excessive technology causes temporary or permanent harm to a developing kid's minds. Thus, it's no surprise that a large number of parents nowadays have similar complaints regarding the overuse of computer and mobile phones. Hello and welcome to the Honest Talk by Freak Folks. I'm Harsh Pandey. For this particular session, we have with us very special guest today, Miss Neha Wahi ma'am. She's an Associate Vice President, Capacity Building and Vertical Career Launcher Education Foundation, AP. The CSR initiative of career launching is popular name among children and young adult as psychologist, career guidance expert, parent coach with a background in psychology as a keen interest in people and processes. She facilitates training for school, colleges, universities, and corporate houses. She loves to work with youth and has taken much more around 1,000 plus workshops across 1,500 plus prestigious school colleges pan India. Up her credit also are rich 1,000 plus rich training hours with corporate houses, colleges, schools, hospitals, hotels, NGOs, banks, and more. Known for her popular Neuro-Linguistic Programs, she is certified by none other than the creator of NLP, Dr. Richard Bandler himself. So first of all, ma'am, I welcome you to in this session. Thank you so much for
Thank
joining.
you so much, Harsh. Thank you. Thank you for having me over.
Thank you, ma'am. It's a pleasure too. So moving to the topic of today's session, which we have chosen is parenting in the age of screens. Parenting has never been easy, but the widespread adoption of a smartphone and the rise of social media has introduced a new wrinkle in the challenge of the parenthood. In fact, a majority of parents who include those who have at least one kid under the age of 18, but who have also have an adult kid or children say that parenting is harder today. It was 20 years ago. With many in this group citing technology as a reason. So I want to listen your thoughts. Ma'am, please share your thoughts with our viewers so they can actually understand this well.
Sure, Harsh. Thank you for this question. I think in the last 2 years, ever since the pandemic has hit the world, I think this question has been posed to me multiple times because the increase in the gadget usage and the increase in the screens and the increase in the challenges around parenting. Every now and then, this question comes my way, and I always smile. So I'm going to pick up my answer from your question and ask the parents who say that 20 years back parenting was easy. I want to ask them, were they parenting 20 years back? Or they're parenting now? How do they know it was easy? So if they think it was easy, it's just a phone call away. Let them call their parents and ask them how easy was it.
Right.
Every age, every generation comes with its own challenges.
Right.
I'm sure 20 years back there was something else, 20 years further behind there was something else, and today it's technology. As parents, somewhere I think we feel very comfortable when we have something to blame. I'm also a parent of two kids. I think I will understand that it is a very nice spot to be in when you can say it's not because of me, it's because of technology. I agree that technology has a very important role to play in our lives and our children's lives, and there could be positives and negatives both around it. But can we keep our hands on our hearts as parents and say that it is just technology that is causing all the trouble today? So I would like to begin today's note with the fact where I like to tell parents that we're all born with the inner compass. When as parents, this inner compass is lost. When we are fighting to find the inner compass, our children are naturally directionless, demotivated, and lost.
Exactly.
But when as parents, we hold on to our inner compass, When we have clarity, we have direction, we share it with our children, and they will always share the same clarity. Right? So
Right.
going back to your question, to is technology a challenge? Technology is one of the challenges of parenting out of many. But look at the blessing. Education has been uninterrupted because of technology. We
Right.
have been connected with our own people and our families in this pandemic, in these bad times because of technology.
Mm,
We could have lost all education, all work had technology not been there. So
exactly.
let's look at the positives that it brings along. What do children do? They don't have a friend to talk to. They don't have the freedom to go out and play and dribble a ball or cycle. They're scared. There's COVID all around. What does a child do? The mind has to find some kind of engagement. So to simplify it, Harsh, I'll ask you a question. Is knife a dangerous tool?
No, it's actually a two sharp question. It can be useful, it can be dangerous both.
So doesn't it
Examples.
depend on the hands in which the tool lies?
Right.
So a knife is used to cut fruits and vegetables, which is important for our diet. And a knife is used to cut open patients during surgery. So doesn't it actually save more lives than it takes more lives? Yeah. So now
Right.
it depends whose hand this knife is in. Is it a 2-year or a 3-year-old who does not know how to handle the knife? Is it in somebody who has the wisdom to hold this knife and understand that which direction it has to be held, how it has to be used, and that it can be harmful if I don't take care of it while I use it? So I think technology is just like this knife. It can actually save more lives than take lives if we are
Exactly.
sensible. Yeah.
Well,
And it would remain both for the students and the parents.
yes.
So once the parents understand this, I think it will not remain a challenge anymore. That's my answer for you.
Indeed, actually, you have very smartly defined this. And my next question to you is most of us choose to expose their children and teenager to the internet and social media at a young age, which can result in a tragic outcome. We all are aware of the many dangers lurking on the internet, one of which is cyberbullying, on top of discrimination and harassment that prevail on the internet and especially on Twitter, Facebook, and Instagram. Sometimes cyberbullying and harassment becomes so unbearable that the people choose to take their own life, while minor and teenagers is most vulnerable in this group actually. So what are your suggestions to such children's?
Very, very crucial question. Thank you for answering this, because even if some students happen to or some youth happens to hear this, I'll be very happy that the message goes across.
Sure.
See, Harsh, let's look at the problem first. Let's understand, how do we reach a limit where people think of committing suicide? What is it that is causing? It is not just cyberbullying. Cyberbullying is one portion of the
Hmm.
entire cyber world. Okay, cyberbullying is one incident that may happen, of trolling or a cyberbullying or a phishing attack. That's different stuff. But why are our youngsters on social media first? My first question. you know so when we were tiny, when we were small, I'm sure when you were also small, and when our parents were small, our grandparents, our parents, everybody followed three golden rules. Rule number one: uh cross when you cross the road, you need to look left and right.
Yes.
Yeah. Rule number two: never accept things from strangers.
Hmm.
Yes, everybody taught us
Right.
this. And three, be honest in the relationships that you make. I think
Hmm.
three rules that were always given to us as children. Now what is happening is there is confusion here. When people or children, youth, goes on the internet, they're not looking left and right when they cross the road. They have to understand this is the same cyber road that is there in the real life. We look here and there, right? They have to look here and there and see how safe is it. Second, somebody is offering me freebies, somebody is offering me friendship, somebody is offering me acknowledgement, attention, I'll take it all. But who is that person? Irrespective. Three, you're not honest, I am not honest. For some time it will do, but later it will start damaging. So Ria is chatting with Sia on the internet, but she does not know if Sia is actually Rajesh.
Hmm. Right.
Yeah. So these are the things that young children have to understand at this stage. Secondly, every time my child, as a parent, I'm talking hypothetically, every time a child comes out of the room, क्या कर रहे थे तुम? कंप्यूटर ही देख रहे होगे, मोबाइल पे बैठे होगे, टीवी देख रहे होगे, कभी पढ़ भी लिया करो. तुम्हें पता है दुनिया में आसपास क्या हो रहा है? ध्यान से ऊपर देखो. All this and much more is the dialogue that is happening between a parent and a child in the last 2 years. The child does not want to come out. He doesn't have an option to entertain himself or herself. And over that, the studies are also online, the classes are online, the extracurricular is online. Plus, when they look for entertainment, it is online. When they look for socializing, it is online. Still, the parent is cribbing. Now, the parent is not providing enough acknowledgement or appreciation to the child. So the child is going to the internet to look for it. When I get a like on Facebook, on Instagram, somebody likes my picture, likes my comment, there is a quick dopamine release. Harsh, you'll be surprised to know that this is the same dopamine which is released during drug addiction, during alcohol addiction, during when you smoke, and when you have a device addiction. There is no difference. If you look at the brains of a drug addict and a gadget addict, they're very similar.
Yeah.
They're very similar. This is so dangerous. When I speak, please understand how dangerous this is. So let's not take this addiction lightly. Right? So it is extremely dangerous. And at the same time, this dopamine gives me a high. So instead of going to my family, I'm repeatedly going to the internet for that high. Now, when the internet trolls me, when the cyberspace mocks me, when they don't acknowledge me, when they say I don't look good, my comments or my photographs are not nice, I suddenly feel suicidal. I feel I belong to nowhere, not to my home, not to the cyber world, nowhere. I don't deserve to live. So this is an entire process. Second, lack of communication. Who do I share my feelings with as an individual? Who's listening? A random stranger who I don't know is also looking for company. So I gel with him rather than my father, mother, or my sibling. Third, the other name for parenting is modeling. When I sit down for a conversation with my child, I'm holding a mobile in my hand and continuously looking at it. What am I telling my child? Your conversation is not important to me. You are not important to me. When the father sits with the child, यहाँ लैपटॉप है, यहाँ iPad खुला हुआ है, यहाँ मोबाइल बज रहा है कंटिन्यूसली. हाँ बेटा, आज तुम्हारा दिन कैसा था? वो बेचारा बता रहा है, पर आपको सुनने का तो टाइम ही नहीं है, ना इंटरेस्ट है. You're only doing a ritual because it has to be done. When parents make these mistakes, they have no right to blame the children. Every human being, end of the day, is looking for acceptance, is looking for love. You're not looking for rejection. So they go looking for it in wrong places. And when things go wrong, they kill themselves. So I think we are fundamentally going wrong. We are talking about 14, 15, 16, 18-year-old children who are full of life, who should be full of energy, who are a bundle of energy. But instead, we're talking about them taking away their lives. So we are fundamentally going wrong as a society.
Exactly.
And as parents, as their first guides, as the first set of adults around them, it becomes our duty to look into it more carefully to avoid such kinds of scenarios.
Indeed. I hope
I've answered it.
Yes, you have done this. And I think it's very hard to disagree with you. You have discussed some of the very concrete reasons behind this. And there's something we all need to understand. And I'm sure those who are watching this session, they are going to find this insightful, meaningful, and going to actually apply all these things in their life. And my next question to you is, what we have seen is most parents of high schoolers in India and other countries know all too well the pressure children place on themselves to get the highest GPA, JEE, NEET, SAT, or board score they possibly can. And I see nothing inherently wrong with children striving for excellence and wanting to win in an increasingly competitive world. Everyone has a plan after achieving success. But if one fails by mistake, then how we need to deal with failure? No one talks about it, neither parents nor at school. Do we need to support the idea of celebrating failure as do we in case of success? Do you think in today's world, parents and teachers need to understand it's okay to fail and stop comparing and putting societal pressure on the child?
So, Harsh, when suppose I touch your hand, okay? I may feel that I can feel your skin. I'm actually not feeling your skin. I'm feeling the sensation in my own hands.
Yes.
What you see, what you feel is what you perceive, how you see the world. For every single person, the definition of success is different.
Right.
For a beggar, going in and affording a cup of coffee and a sandwich in a coffee shop is success. For Harsh, doing 5 celebrity interviews in a week is success. For me, maybe my family eating together the whole week is success. For each individual, success has a different meaning.
Exactly,
But
yes.
my question here is, who has defined this success? What students need to understand is success or failure, which are two sides of the same coin. Who has defined this? Somebody called society. Some faces that we don't recognize. But we forget, what have we decided as the definition of success for ourselves? For a child, success may be minting money, which may not come from engineering or medicine, but may come from running a coffee shop where they sell probably Maggie and cold coffee. Today, we know how many kiosks are making minting money. People who've done IIMs and IITs are now running small dairy farms and coffee shops and restaurants, aren't they? So, what is this? What is the definition of success for you? What will make you happy? Failure. What? How will you define failure? What is failure for you? Maybe it is name and fame for somebody, that is success. Maybe it is not money. Maybe it is giving back to the society, that is success. And not being able to give back to the society is failure. So, first, as an individual, please decide what is success and failure. And remember, failing is always learning a lesson. Failure will always teach you more lessons than success will. The problem is that in an Indian society, in our culture, misery is something that's very profound. Pain is very profound. Happiness and joy is not profound. That's how our
Right.
society is built. We blow up pain, misery, failure. We don't blow up big things, good things.
Yes.
So our kids start believing that this is how we have to look at it. But once we realize, so there's so much fear in our minds always. If I fail, the dialogue that the child is having, if I don't get this CGPA, if I don't clear this entrance, if I don't make it to this dream college, if I don't get this kind of package, what if, what if, what if? What students have to understand is fear is something that has not happened, may happen in the future, but you have the power to control it today. Don't let it happen. It is in your hands. You're fearing something that has not happened at all. So once you understand this fear and treat it as your friend, fear is always telling you something harsh. This is for all the students. The fear is actually telling you you have not practiced enough. You're not putting
Yes.
in enough effort. You're not studying enough. That is what fear is telling you. Fear is not telling you, my friend has studied more than me. That girl has finished her work, I haven't. Oh my God, he has applied to this and cleared that college, I couldn't. That is not what fear is telling you. And the day children learn to embrace failure as much as they do to learn success, I think life will change for them.
Indeed.
It's their flight onwards. But before they understand, as you rightly said, parents and teachers have to understand this. Who keep, what is the parents' favorite dialogue? तुम सब्जी की ठेली लगाओगे. That is for the boys. For the girls, लोगों के घर में काम कर लेना. पढ़ोगी नहीं तो. Yeah, this dialogue has not changed over generations, but we are not realizing what damage we are doing to our child. Your child is not listening प्याज की या ठेली या घर के काम. Your child is listening, I am worthless, I am not good enough. My parent also does not trust and have faith in me. What will the world trust me? So please be very careful. You're a very lucky generation, kids listening to me, because you're in an innovative generation. You can mix and match courses. You can mix and match subjects. You can just try your hands on any career opportunity. Come up with pet salons. Come up with the food photography. Come up with travel journalism.
Exactly.
Do whatever you wish to. Yeah, you are not one of our generations की बहुत intelligent है तो doctor engineer बनेगा वरना teaching कर लेना. Sorry, I mean, I with due respect to everybody, but that's exactly how we've grown up. We just knew three professions. So remove this fear of failure, embrace it, look at it as two sides of the coin, which are both equally important in a person's life, and failure being more important because it teaches me something today to be better tomorrow.
Yes.
Yeah. Your next question, please.
Actually, we all have this amazing fantasy about life. This is how things should work. And if they don't work, we give up. So this is also the problem. And ma'am, my next question to you is, India has one of the first highest suicide rates among youth. According to SOCHAM survey, 72% of the students in India don't know how to handle pressure, as we have discussed. Suicide so common among school and colleges students. So what do you think? What are the major possible reasons behind it? I'm sure we have discussed one possible reasons, that was cyberbullying. what are the other possible reasons you want to highlight here?
Gadget usage does have a very big role to play. Why? Because I'll take you back again to childhood. You know, we were always told, go, after we used to come back from school, our parents used to say, go play and come back and study. आजकल पेरेंट्स बोलते हैं पहले पढ़ाई करो फिर खेलने जाने देंगे. Why was that happening? We were asked to go out and play because when we played and came, our minds were fresh. Physical activity was contributing to the mind and the body. And we were fresh to sit down and study. When we are stuck to gadgets and gaming and YouTube, there is hyper simulation in my mind, in my brain. So when somebody falls from an 80 feet building in my game, I actually fall with that person. That's happening in my body. Okay. Second, number of stress responses have increased. Stress responses mean, to again tell you in a very layman term, I'm crossing a jungle and I see a lion. Okay, the lion starts running behind me. I run for life. I see a hut. I get inside the hut. I close the door. But for a few minutes, my heart is palpitating, hands are shivering, body is shaking. I'm profusely sweating. What is happening? These are not bad responses. These are positive responses where my, sympathetic system is working to tell me either fight or flight. There is danger. It is the body's way of saying there is danger. After 15 minutes, I settle down when I know the lion is gone and I'm safe. So initially, there were about 10, 15 stress responses for a person in a day. But now, according to science, if you look at the youngsters, there are more than 50 stress responses in a day for a child. So Harsh, for a child, a lion following a child, or a failure in an exam, or no preparation for an exam, or not being able to complete the assignment, or the competition between me and my friend, all create the same responses. The mind does not know the difference between the lion and the classwork or the homework. Yes. For it is a stress and it gives a response. When the body gives a stress response, there are negative hormones that are being secreted in the body, which create the toxic level or raise the toxic level of the body. Right? So when you are living in toxicity, when perpetually the stress responses are happening and the body does not settle down, you tend to get sick. You fall sick. You have migraines at young age. You have continuous stomach irritations at young age. You have depression and mental anxiety and frustration and anger issues. Why? Because your body is perpetually toxic. But you're blessed with something called parasympathetic nervous system. What happens when my mom comes and touches my shoulder? When my father comes and kisses my forehead? What happens? Release of dopamine. I'm happy hormone, love hormone. That's now settling the negative hormone in my body. So for students who reach this level, you have to understand that you have been born with the power. God has given you that power to combat the negative impact of stress in your body, but you have to use that power. You have to utilize this to calm yourself. For somebody it may be singing a song, for somebody it may be speaking to a friend, for somebody it may be cuddling a parent, for somebody it may be sleeping, for somebody it may be comfort food. Right. Find out what comforts you. Don't reach that level. Okay. Second, lack of sports. I think sports is a great teacher. When you get out on the ground and you play, you learn competition. You learn how to win, you learn how to lose. You learn teamwork. Today, all that is missing, Harsh.
Exactly.
That is the reason of loneliness. That is the reason we can't take failure. And then I can't stop this video without talking about the irrelevant examination pressure or the education system that the country offers. Sadly. So here I would only like to say one thing to all the children listening to us. I'm sure you've heard of Ram, and you've heard of Krishna, and you've heard of Jesus, and you've heard of maybe Guru Nanak Dev. You've heard of all people who are, beautifully looked up to and prayed and followed in every household. I just want to ask you children, which IIT and IIM did these four go to? So the message here is, to be liked and loved and be popular and be respected, you don't have to be a good professional only. You have to be a good human being also.
That's most important.
So strive to be a good person first, a good human, balanced, in harmony outside and within. Profession will follow. Find your passion. If you can sleep well at night, which means you're not finding your passion, not following it. If your body hurts, if you're too stretched, if you can't sleep, You found your passion.
Yes.
Be excited about what you're going to do in life. Don't be depressed. Look forward to it. Enjoy the challenges, because the stage is not going to come back. After some time, there'll be monotony. You'll be in that job that you wanted to, and you'll only be doing those same things. But this time, there's adrenaline rush. You're getting to do, meet so many challenges and reach your goals. So enjoy this time and live the gift that you have been bestowed with, which is called life. Let's die just once. Let's live every day and every moment. That's chance.
Exactly. I think you have very beautifully explained this whole thing, and I'm sure the people, those who are watching this session, they are going to find this insightful in a very different way. And ma'am, I
Thank you,
can say
Harsha.
there's a lot more to learn from you, but today I don't want to take too much of your time. So moving to my last question of this session, we all have seen is youth is a time of enormous energy. A lot of youth is in confused state of mind. A youth of today's generation need clarity and balance. They have become the victim of social media information overload. Everywhere there's a compulsion. They are addicted to smoking, alcohol, drugs, and gruesome video materials. There's been substance abuse like never before. So my last question to you is, what are the small efforts we can practice to bring an awareness among the youth, just to remind them of their enormous energies, how to balance them and lead their life well?
So I think it's very simple. Um, you will go for something like so let's first explain. I think, let me first tell you, if you go and try drugs once, or you go and try alcohol once, or you go and try a cigarette once, it is not addiction, it is substance abuse.
Uh,
But when you do it again and again, and you can't do without it, the body shows withdrawal symptoms. If you don't do it, that is when it reaches the stage of addiction. So if you're so curious, sit with your parents, sit with the adult that you trust, and try what you have to, rather than going wrong. I would personally say that. But then understand how it harms you, how it takes away the life and the life force from you, and look at the positive side of it. Second, if I love my life, I will never want to look for a high in a cigarette or an alcohol or in a gadget. If I love my life. But if I don't love my life, I will need that kind of excitement outside me. Have you ever sat down peacefully and seen or thought, what is it that gives me happiness within? Why don't you be addicted to reading? Why can't you be addicted to
yes.
dancing? Why can't you be addicted to friendship? Why can't you be addicted to communication? Why can't you be addicted to spirituality? Why can't you be addicted to giving back to the world or the environment? That is also addiction, but that is positive addiction. Have you ever sat down and thought, as students, as the youth, what is it that can give me the same amount of high? The negative path will always be easier to take. It's said that there are two wolves fighting inside us, the good wolf and the bad wolf. It is up to you which one is going to win today. Which one will you feed? The one you feed will be the one which wins. If you feed the bad one, he will win over the good one. If you feed the good one, you will not let the bad one win. Thirdly, stop lying on your nail. I keep repeating this in every interview. You're lying on a nail, it's hurting you, but it's only hurting you enough to keep cribbing. It's not hurting you enough to move. So you're waiting, when it pierces through my body, I will move. Don't wait till that stage. Move now. When you sense discomfort, displeasure, when you feel, depression is coming, or I need communication, I need to reach out to people, stand up and reach out to people. Take action. Reach out to counselors. They don't judge you. Reach out to your parents. Trust me. They're just worried about you. So they sound very judgy. And to all youngsters who are listening to me, trust me, your parents' lives are no less than a circus handling you. Huh? And this is a parent telling you. We are also going through a lot of challenges and difficulty taking care of the youth and ensuring that you're happy and you don't feel judged and you don't feel angry with us all the time. So it has to be, we have to co-opt as a parent and a child. It can't be unidirectional. It has to be circular. From a child to a parent and a parent to a child. When you live a wholesome circle, these kind of depressions, suicides will not happen. When I can go and tell my mom, please hold me today, I have a sinking feeling. When I can put my head in my father's lap and say, let me cry, I'm just feeling very negative, I'll feel happy. Or when I can tell my sibling, let's dance. Let's dance it out today.
Yes.
I have a happy family to fall back on. That's my cushion. So please try a high on life, a high on relationships, a high on friendship, a high on spirituality, a high on meditation, a high on yoga and union with your own self, with the universe, before you try to get into substance abuse.
Right.
Because there's no U-turn from there.
Exactly. And thank you so much, ma'am, for discussing all these things. And you have discussed some of the very concrete reasons. And it was a kind of a healthy discussion with you over the topic. We look forward to conduct more sessions with you in future. And again, thank you,
Sure,
ma'am.
Harsh, I'll be happy to help. Thank you so much, Harsh. Wishing everybody who's listening to us a great day ahead and a happy and stress-free life. Thank you very much, Harsh.
Sure, ma'am. Thank you so much, ma'am. Bye.
On the ground is where I stand. Never give up, that was always the plan. It's so cold outside. I'm alone, I'm alright. It's so cold outside. I'm alone.